each and per tier. But I actually have a cold, so I've been sort of feeling under the weather since last time. So please bear with me. So since you just came from a break, can you just turn to your seatmates and give them your jolly smiles? Para naman good vibes. Hope you know each other. Okay. So first of all, thank you to the organizers of PR Asia 2018. I was telling during the break a while ago that I had the privilege of attending PR Asia in Singapore around 3 or 4 years ago, and I really had a lot of takeaways in terms of the best case practices from the other brands in other regions. So when I learned that PR Asia is coming to the Philippines, I really felt that it was a welcome development for the PR industry because we really need more conferences like these because of course our industry has become very dynamic. Hindi lang PR industry, even our cousins, our richer cousins like marketing comms and digital marketing. So we could all really benefit from conferences like this. Sabi water naman ako sa okay, so when they gave me the invitation and then told me that this is the topic, I actually felt a little hesitant because content is king or content is still king. It's actually a cliche already. We've heard about this phrase so many times in marketing. Actually, when you Google, you don't need to listen to me anymore. There's a whole list of strategies there or reasons why content is still king. But then, I read again the letter the second time. It's actually pala a case presentation in Jollibee. So I thought, okay, so I think sharing how Jollibee uses engaging content to win our customers, not just through the stomach, but through the hearts, is, I think, a good input also to the participants of the PR Asia. Okay, so with your indulgence, I will skew my presentation more on how the brand applies effective content marketing more than the theories. Okay, because you can search for it all over na. But of course, I will inject my talk with a lot of tips along the way based also on our experience. Is that okay? Okay. So quick refresher. Of course, you know about the brand. Okay, so we are the number one, have always been the number one fast food chain in the country. The dominant number one, dominant. And the JFC itself, the mother company, in case you don't know, is now the largest and fastest growing Asian restaurant company in the world. Okay, so it's not just Philippines number one. The JFC group, which includes our sister brands, Red Ribbon, Greenwich, Mga Inasal, Chowking, and the acquired brands, which recently included Smash Burger and Panda Express. So we have a total of 14 brands already in our growing portfolio, and we are present in 14 countries, 20 countries pala, 20 countries with a worldwide network of over 4,000 stores. So, in terms, we are not just number one in terms of market share, we have the most extensive network. This is our 1,000 store in BGC Triangle. Who has visited this branch? Not here. So, sana you go there because this is a different Jollibee experience. The interiors, the mood is different because it follows a modern tropical design. So, it's still the same Jollibee but leveled up in terms of experience you get to bond with your family and friends while enjoying, of course, your favorite food. Okay. So the bee has actually been busy because it has been traveling. So last April, we actually entered Europe for the first time by opening our first branch in Milan, Italy. It was followed by Macau in June. And then this October, we had our first opening in the UK, London, along Earl's Court. And then although we have more than or close to 40 branches in the US, this is very exciting because we actually landed in the Big Apple. So we just opened our first store in Manhattan. So it's a very strategic location. When you go there, parang nakaka-proud kasi Diba? Syempre, diba, as the song goes, when you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So it just feels a little, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, or really biased. Because syempre, when you're in the Philippines, and then there's Jollibee in every corner, parang you're sawa na rin. Okay, Jollibee again, Jollibee. But when you're traveling, and then when you see a familiar red structure with the iconic B, parang your Filipino heart can just, diba, can't help myself with pride. I'll just share a few pictures, because not all of us, of course, were there. So these are the pictures in Milan. The location of our store is actually at the lower ground of a big residential building. So during the opening, of course, in every Jollibee store opening, the lines are crazy. So they were there a day before. And then during the actual opening, it's like fiesta because all the Filipinos talaga from all over gathered. And then we had to manage the residents because sa Italians yun, medyo masungit yun. So they had to go down because maingay daw mga Pinoy. Selfie, selfie, kumusta na, ganyan. So it's really fiesta and all. So we really need to manage that on the side. And when, especially yung ingay level, talaga reached the highest proportion when the mascot came out from behind the pillars. Parang it's like they saw a long-lost friend. Parang it's a matinee idol times 10 effect for them. Some even talaga came rushing to the mascot and parang, Jollibee, na-miss kita. So parang it's funny, pero talagang when you think where our OFWs are coming from, how much they miss the brand, and how much the presence of Jollibee meant so much to them, you will understand why they reacted that way. Okay, so in London, I was fortunate to have been asked to help oversee the opening. This was taken the night before. So the night before, Filipinos were already camping out. The location of the store is in Earl's Court. This is a strip where there are a lot of really Filipino establishments already. May lutong bahay, may palod, may ginto, whatever. That's true. Okay? So it stretched until the early morning, and then by the next day, yeah, it has ballooned already to that, 900 plus stores. The line stretched to 2 adjacent streets. So there were police already manning because the location of the store is beside the highway, so we don't want to cause any traffic. So we had to manage that. The first customer of Jollibee London waited for 18 hours. So he was there the day before, and there's a story, we actually interviewed him. Sir, why did you wait? Because it's once naman the Jollibee is open, it's there na, you don't have to be, diba? I have to enjoy the life. So it turns out, his daughter had a dream, and then the dream was that his dad would be the first customer of Jollibee London. So he got up from work the day before, asked his friend to be with him, took the train, and then stood in line 2 p.m. the day before the opening to ensure that he will be the first Jollibee customer. So yeah, it was very nice. And then what's good is that in the Philippines, the perception is Jollibee is all about just a family brand. But when we actually opened our doors in London, you can see barcadas, young boys. These group of boys in the upper portion of the screen, practically young, so mga teenagers. They're actually very noisy but fun. They brought a boombox with them because they said they will be bored waiting in line. So they kept on singing while online just to entertain themselves. And then some kwento pa pala, the day before daw, syempre Pinoy is very entrepreneurial. So we weren't open yet. So there was even one customer who had to sell arroz caldo to the crowd because they don't have anything to eat. We're not yet open. Okay. And then just last week, we landed in the Big Apple as mentioned. The weather was extra challenging because it was raining, but that didn't stop the crowd from lining up. So the first customer heard about the record of the customer in Jollibee London, so he tried to bid it with his fiancée. So he was there the day before at 12 noon for a total of a 20-hour wait. So he was the first. So he holds the record now of the longest waiting time for a customer before a store gets to actually open. And it's very heartwarming to see how much they miss the brand. Brand love is really felt in the air. There were customers who came in full Jollibee costume. Guard, imagine walking along Times Square, naka-Jollibee. Anyway, marami namang figures sa'yo. Pero at least, you can really feel the excitement and the pride in having Jollibee finally in the world. Okay, so apart from those, another very particular achievement that we're proud of to this day is that because since we are a fast food restaurant, our main asset, of course, is the food we sell. Okay, and in terms of all the fast food categories, main fast food categories, we are actually the leader in terms of burgers, spaghetti, fries, chicken, and also in terms of shares, the shares, the consumption shares are more than versus our competitors, and then it has been adjudged also as the Philippines' best tasting among these categories. And of course, we are a source of Filipino pride because every time we open a Jollibee store, even if you're really not a Jollibee fan, if you're just a Filipino, diba? Parang we want to celebrate the success of our fellow Filipinos. The fact that if you will just recall how the brand started as a 2-branch ice cream parlor in Cubao, and now it's one of the fastest growing Asian restaurant companies in the world, giving the other fast food brands a run for the money, is something that will really make you proud. Okay, but for the purposes of this conference, what I would really want to share, and which is a feat that me, especially in my line of work, that I'm really most proud of, is that among the QSRs in the Philippines, we are the country's digital engagement leader. So we are very proud of this because this didn't happen overnight. Like most of you, we struggled with the followers of our Facebook page. We even had a campaign in the office to reach 1 million likes. Whenever a video would reach 100,000 views, then we will celebrate because we felt, oh, many viewed the video apart from us. So this is really a big achievement for us right now, and something that we're determined to protect. Because Jollibee in itself is a very copy-worthy and exciting brand, and so many things are going on in digital. And a lot of our consumers, whether they are in the ABCD spectrum, are really all online. So the commitment to continue producing engaging content will still be there. Ayan, okay. So just to show, I won't reveal the brands, but it's just QSR 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So we lead in terms of share of engagements and total mentions. So this was measured via a tool. So in terms of engagements, meaning the number of times that people actually like, share, love your post. And then mentions, the share of buzz. How many times Jollibee became part of the conversation, whether deliberately or not intentionally. Okay, so what's our digital strategy? Of course, I can't share everything. My boss will kill me. But the main point that I would like to drive at, related to, of course, our topic, is that our digital strategy is really powered by content. Okay, so this is the part where I'm supposed to say that content is still king. But I will say that because plain old content is not king. Okay, the challenge right now behind the clutter is to come out with really engaging content that will be disruptive, that people will remember, that will be worth people's time. So, in Jollibee's book, we have 4 parameters in which to gauge the content that we are producing. First is, it has to be meaningful. So the question that needs to be asked or needs to gauge, that you need to gauge when going through content is that basically it's why do I care? Okay? Why would the people stop and look at your video? But they're very busy. Okay? So why would I care? Okay? And when you answer that question, please answer in the POV of the customer. Because when you answer in your own POV, Why do I care? Because I'm an employee of Jollibee. I'm inclined to really like and share. It's really a good brand. Okay, so you should really take the POV of the people, of the consumers. Okay, so if it were your, not your friend siguro, high school frenemy, okay, someone na you're not close to, why would he or she care about your brand? Why would he or she care about your content? Next is it has to be cohesive. Okay, it has to belong, or it has to be part of a logical sort of master content strategy. You don't just come out with content na out of the blue. For this month, parang uso yung dance. Next month, parang hugot. Parang next month, comedy naman. Parang variety show. So you should have logic to what you're doing, and it should tie actually to your brand mission. Next, of course, I cannot emphasize this more engaging. If meaningful answers the question of why do I care, engaging content answers the question of why will I share. Okay, so it's very easy to like, or if you're forced to like because your friend or your mother asked you to like the video. But why would you share it? Diba? It's something. So it really has to be engaging to the point that you would want to share it, because that's the effect when you're touched by a material. Diba? When we watch a great movie, it's not enough that you just keep it to yourself, because the people actually don't consume content in silence. They share it. Okay? Whether they have a pleasant or good experience, it's out into social media. So make sure that your content is engaging enough so it will really be worth playing this. And of course, it should be sustainable, because content is not a one-shot deal. So, planning season, if you don't have a budget for a content, a regular content, and you just think na one video na for the whole of 2019, kasi wala ng pera, so forget about it. So you should really have to, there's a way of managing your resources, but it has to be sustainable, because you need to have a variety of content, because the more varied your content is, the more reasons you will give the public to stick to your site, to follow your page. If it's just that, and of course when they read your content, they will have an opinion about the brand. And when they have an opinion about your brand, that translates to brand awareness, and later on brand affinity, which we will go into that later. So with this, next, ayan na. So just, I'm sure you've seen this. Ayan, okay. So, okay, so it's also important that you match the type of content with the people's consumption habits. Who have seen this chart before? So anyway, we learned this from past digital conferences. There are 3 types of content. They can be classified into on-the-go content, lean forward, lean back. So I'll go through each. On-the-go or immediate content is something that doesn't require much effort from the consumer or your target market. It's a simple static post, a cinema graph. So it's the kind of content that you consume while you're waiting for the next MRT ride, your Grab car, siguro when the elevator takes so long, diba? It's just to while away the time. So that's the on-the-go content. Lean forward, the people has actually more time to spare, so it's a little bit more interactive. So this could fall under the quizzes, the polls. So it's a little less random than the first. And then the third one, which is the most exciting for us, is the lean back. This is the time when you've actually finished braving the EDSA traffic, you're in your bedroom, diba? You have time to siguro if you don't want to watch Provinciano on TV, you open Netflix, diba? So that's the immersive content type. This is the stage. This is the best time where engagement happens because there's less clutter. Okay, the consumer has the siguro clear. The air is clear, they don't have any disruptions and all. So most of the long form videos, like the kwentong Jollibee and the other example that I will show later, fall into the third bucket, which is the lean back content. Okay, so going online, for most of the people, is actually our me time, equivalent to our me time, okay? So even if it will take just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, it's still your me time. So given that, how do we now execute me time worthy content? Diba parang when we take a VL, parang your tour, will I go to the spa? Will I have a movie? Diba? Will I visit my lola? And also, whatever we do, similar to how we consume media, we need to think what will be the content that will be of value and will be most engaging for our customers. So what's the me time worthy content? Okay? So for Jollibee, the formula is powerful brand stories. Okay? And powerful brand stories are the results of powerful truths well told. The truth well told, I admit that it's actually a philosophy of our creative agency, Makan World Group, but we tweaked it a bit because it's not enough that you have truths, you need to have powerful truths. In advertising lingo, truths are what they call ad insight or hugot. Okay, but we prefer to call it truths or social sound. Anyway, so truths. So when we have powerful truths, you have powerful brand stories, but it's not enough that you have a good story, you have to be able to tell it well. That's why these elements are very important. Powerful brand stories are powerful truths well told. Okay, so this is now the portion where I just have 2 videos to show how we utilize content anchored on our philosophy of producing powerful brand stories based on powerful truths well told. It's the one with the hugot, also known as kwentong Jollibee, and the one with Pizza de Peligro, also known as the 1429 Jolly Serie. So these are different genre. The one is love story, kilig, hugot, paiyak, and the other one we can find out who's familiar with the Jolly Serie. Okay, so glad some of you have watched it. So it has been a challenge because it's quite long, but we're also proud of this material. So happy to share what we've done so far. Okay, so let's go first with Kwentong Jollibee, or KJ for short, the one with the hugot. The big idea, next is, sorry. Ayan. The big idea is that we want a video or a material that will showcase lessons on love na magpapakilig sa buong bansa. Because Filipinos are very emotional, very suckers for love stories and all. And this is our second run. Because as mentioned in the presentation, 2017 was our first attempt to do this, and it really became so phenomenal and viral that we were surprised ourselves. So come 2018, we challenged our agency that we only have ourselves to beat, so this is the challenge. Okay, and these are the results via a case video. Play the video, please.
So it's
Series 2018. So, just to show how effective it was, actually, if you will ask, most of the views that we've garnered are really skewed in our Facebook page because we have over 6 million followers. And to be honest, the investment is really more skewed towards Facebook in terms of boosting. But for this year, we were very lucky because if you're familiar with the YouTube Leaderboard Awards, so every semester they actually honor the 10 most viewed ads in the Philippines. So 10, okay, from the 10, 4 slots are actually Jollibee. So all 3 videos in one campaign was made part of the YouTube Leaderboard. So that's a big feat already because for some brands, just to be part of the YouTube Leaderboard for their one campaign is really a big achievement. So for us, having the whole Valentine's series there is an indication that the people are really open and engaged even with long-form content. Next is the one with the Petsa de Peligro. Why Petsa de Peligro? Jolly Savers is actually yung pricing namin, sweet spot pricing for working adults who are challenged with their finances. Petsa de Peligro is a real, a truth for us because the struggle is real when you've spent all your sweldo sa first half of the month and then suddenly you don't have time to spare. So ang notion is when you don't have sweldo, you just have to settle for something that's not so masarap. Okay, but with Jolly Savers, sorry for the but with Jolly Savers, hindi kailangan mahal, diba, para makain ng masarap. So that's the logic. Of course, we could have used the traditional route and use the tagline, but the big idea that we had, be true to the agency, we wanted a digital sitcom inspired by Friends. Sino yung nag-grow up ng mga panahon na Jennifer Aniston, Rachel, and all, diba? Ayun, so Friends. So this is the sample. So why 1429? Because these are the Petsa de Peligro leads. So the videos only come out every 14th and 29th of the month during the campaign run. So it actually influences purchase decisions during those critical times. So time is running out, but I have to show the video quickly, if you will indulge me. Okay, please play the video.
The most dreaded days of the month of working Filipinos are 14th and 29th, with barely enough to make it till next payday. Jolly Savers, the delicious affordable offering of fast food giant Jollibee, decided to take this fear away. Introducing 1429 Jolly Serie, the series that turned days of dread into days of delight, with office characters Filipinos can relate to. Jollibee created an office sitcom that aired every 14th and 29th of the month, with episodes of funny antics and comedy skits about Petsa de Peligro that laughed the dread away.
Paano mo makakasama ang gusto mo kung hindi nakikisama ang bulsa mo? Hero, ito na lang kasi natira sa ref.
Thanks, James.
Teka, Rabi. Jano Gibbs?
No, it's Genie. Genie Gives. Your budget Genie. Get 3 gifts.
Okay.
Ganon?
Ano nga yung bote? Wrong Genie.
Ibig sabihin, dadating si Marvin, yung ex mo.
Walang pang outfit. Walang pang warrior! At ngayon ko pa talaga darating, ha? Ask Magic Jolens. I am Jolens of the House of Butterflies. First to Chuba, last to Chuchu. I'm your fairy god, Momshi. Presenting Alex 2.0. Just be yourself, but be normal. Kailangan makita ni Marvin na Alex has moved on. Good luck, girl. Sling.
Move on challenge. Round 1. Fight.
Lumika.
Thank you. Ikaw rin, look
fight.
Uy, burger steak. Favorite mo yan, di ba?
Final round, fight.
Sinong maganda? Ikaw na! Excuse me?
Your excuse?
Anong tawag mo sa vampira kapag petsa de peligro?
Ano?
Edi bomb na lang kasi wala ng pira.
May budget sila, may wardrobe, may dance coach. Tayo, wala, petsa de peligro eh. May nanalo na. Kat? Tita, yeah, we're ready.
Teacher G? Tita ni Kat G?
Hombre.
Education natin, no? Ang daming energy. Parang nakuryente. And that's good.
Guys, meet Sir Ner.
Ako si Sir Ener from Sure Energy Electricians.
Energy? Pagkapag kay Teacher G.
Suddenly, online conversations pointed to one thing: the anticipation of 1429. Ultimately, sales were way more than what was anticipated, with double-digit growth for the brand. In the end, only a brand like Jollibee can turn dread into excitement. Now, 1429 became the dates for new funny episodes to look forward to with Jolly Savers. 1429 Jolly Serie, the series that turned the most dreadful days into the most delightful ones.
So that's Jolly Serie, our Pets de Peligro series. So this December, we will have a Christmas edition. So watch out for it. Okay? So, so why do we experiment on this when we could have spent the money on billboards or TV? Because we don't want to always do hard sell with our customers. Because Jollibee naman is a very salient brand. It's always present. So we have actually the leverage to experiment. As they say, creativity daw is intelligence having fun. So in this digital landscape, it's very important that you exercise your creative juices, work with the best creative agencies who will bring your vision, your wild ideas to life. So this has been the result so far of our investment. We are still the leader in total brand and even the product share of voice. Chicken, our flagship product, leads in the total, in terms of the total share of voice pie. Highest market share ever. So I cannot reveal the numbers, but you can just imagine how how many Chicken Joy are we selling every day, and yet we've been able to grow it even more. So it's really a big feat considering the competition. With the hearts of customers, we actually have a tracker to measure our brand health. We continually lead in the brand I Love equity score across all target markets. And then we are also considered the thought leader in digital marketing, so based on the content that we've been churning out, which led us to attend to international local awards where we are exposed to many more exciting content and which will challenge us more to produce even greater materials that we are already doing. So just last 3 guide points when creating content: have a sense of purpose. By meaning a sense of purpose is not just your communication or business objective. What impact or takeaway would you want to leave to your customers? Do you want to make them feel good? Do you want to make them manage their finances better? There has to be a deeper reason. You don't just have to create content for the sake of creating content. Next, be true to what your brand stands for. Earlier, there was a mention on authenticity. So it's not just because everyone is on the trend of halimbawa Dub Smash or before the flash mob, you will write into it. You know your brand's best. So if it doesn't fit your brand personality, don't do it, because people can actually see through it that your content is not genuine and not consistent with your brand personality. Last, please. And next, this is very important, experiment, learn, and repeat. Because as mentioned, yung mga viral videos didn't happen overnight. We had a lot of misses before. We had to go back to the drawing table. But you can never learn if you stop experimenting. Okay? So, syempre, yung iba sabihin yung magastos. But there's a way of continuing to churn out content in a more cost-effective way. So you can actually engage your customers whole year round. Okay, so that's it. Just to summarize the tips to go, have a sense of purpose in creating content. Be true to what your brand stands for. Experiment, learn, and repeat. So thank you very much.
Miss Arline, we have a couple of questions that we will show on screen. Alright, we have here. Hello, is there a prime time schedule when posting digital content?
Okay, so I can share stats. They say that the prime time, well, for the Philippines, is actually 6 p.m. After, kasi maybe yung iba daw pag mga lunchtime may mga firewalls sa office so they can check their Facebook and all. But that is not the absolute rule because you should really visit your brand page dashboard because it really depends on the nature of your business. Like for us, we cannot say, because we are a fast food company, we have posts for each critical, what do you call this, hunger points. So before lunch, we have content for lunchtime. So before the merienda, we have the Jolly Savers for merienda. And then the long form content, we actually reserve it towards the end of the day. So that's a general rule, but you need to observe your dashboard because I cannot pinpoint or determine for each of the brands.
Thank you, Ms. Arline. We have another one. For a big brand like Jollibee, what challenges in PR and marketing do you still experience? Are the challenges easier or harder?
That's a hard question. Challenging question. Okay, so what challenges in PR and marketing do you still experience? Well, siguro not just for Jollibee, but the brands in general nowadays, the stakes are higher because we're now in the digital world, so everyone, all brands are really very inspired and gung-ho in coming up with content. So in this fiercely competitive world where everyone is fighting to be in the page 1 of the search ranks, the content is really your best capital to even have a chance for your brand to be recognized. So, challenges of course is, syempre, even if you have a budget, this, like for me, for our brand, highly competitive, but if the competitor does something, diba, that you have to react to for some reason, well, you have to go back to the drawing board and diba, because I'm sure they also do the same with us. So, you need to be agile, you need to be flexible enough. Even if you have plans, you still have to prepare for the worst. Because there are external factors that can and will continue to affect your industry in more ways than you can imagine.
Thank you, Ms. Arline. We have another one. Among its many PR campaigns, what is the #1 image or reputation that Jollibee wants to project its target public and why?
Okay, thank you for the beautiful question. Paris Universe. Okay, for Jollibee, actually the main image or siguro yun nga, reputation that we want to project to public is that we are, simple lang, we are a bringer of joy. Okay, joy, whether joy in terms of the food you eat, the experience, the service, so joy in any form. So, when parang joy has become synonymous na to Jollibee. So that's our brand mission is to spread joy by tasting superior food.
That was good indeed, joy indeed. Everyone, we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions from our delegates, but we can only cater for those. But you can approach Ms. Arline within the day. So thank you everybody for those questions. Again, please give another round of applause for Ms. Arline Arevalo.